Your inside life originates in the moon, your roots, your inner child, your connection to the waters, to source, which is calm and secure, reflects and mirror your heaven, so your inner and outer or lower and upper part of the zodiac can work in unison, where your planets will be aligned and communicate with each other without conflicts and cognitive dissonance. In your inner heaven you are guided by the divine, but the subtle messages will only be available to you when there is no wind. Air disturbs the water surface, creates distortions, and ripples on the mirror. Your right brain hemisphere is your inner heaven, where Jupiter lives, dealing with holistic interpretations and intuition. This is why Saturn cult has had you air-conditioned, to make you based in left brain hemisphere, which rules the right side of the body, the hard and stupid. It is also here that the Prince of Air creates turmoil in your inner world, through external sources of Medea, read Medea, the goddess of confusion, transferring thoughts and symbols carrying values to trigger your emotions, dealt with by your moon. The moon is your inner mirror, the core, or the inner command center, that bridges your inner with your outer life. It directs interpretations from the holistic right brain Jupiter and the detail-oriented left brain Mercury. It deals with coordinating your cardinal points into a unified identity that is your interface to the world out there. Cardinal points are the ascendant, the imum Celi, the descendant, the medium Celi. These points comes in mentioned order and describes where your cardinal sign starts as a default. Note, those of you who understand astrology deeper knows that it is more complex than this. I try to share a general and simplified description. Your ascendant is ruled by Mars/Aries, an impulsive and instinctual drive to act, which have no previous experiences to reflect and compare life against, since it is the newborn sun/sun. It only knows the phrase I am, hence it goes head forward and understands itself by watching the results, what happens in the exterior during its march forward. This is why you are your ascendant, as well as you are your sun sign. The sun has an integrating function on your whole system of energies. It binds together and gives meaning and purpose to your whole being, bringing all your planets into a coherent theme based on the sun sign you were born in. The sun works similar to the moon, but it has a more general function seen through the perspective of your whole life. The mirror is the moon, the core of your ego, where you are processing your inner life. If you can look real loose into the mirror, you can see right through it and realize you are what reflects in it, and not the mirror itself. I had occasional moments like this throughout my life, and it felt like I was a small child again. All was magical and a rush of energy did flow through me and tears could not be held back. These were moments of transcendence, where Neptune dissolved structures and brought the manifest back to potential, to source. Your descendant is a portal to the public life, the 7th house Libra. Note that it's also here where day and night are equally long in the fall, where you no longer focus on your inner life, but take a step into the battlefield of the public life. The outside, or the upper half of the zodiac, where strength, that is being hard, is the method for survival of the physical organism, survival of your vessel. I have repeatedly shared that the upper half of the zodiac is ruled by air and earth, the masculine couple of the 4 elements. If you are trapped inside of your mirror, you'll think that you are separate from the rest of the world. Air separates, your inner life becomes a mirror hall or an echo chamber. The ego, based in air, will have you stuck in its dualistic structure, where a constant choice between this or that is forced. Air doesn't allow any third alternative, all is this or that, me or the other. Compare with the law of the excluded third, as I have mentioned many times. The choice you make will be integrated into your persona, while its shadow will be projected onto the other. There is or no others though, only your ego/persona will trick you into believing so. If you cannot keep your persona in control, it will grow into a grandiose ego, and it will climb to the top of the zodiac, into the limelight of Saturn, which starts at the MC, the public stage, and here demands to be seen as the grandiose inner image it insists on being, while every other player on the stage are just losers. A grandiose persona comes from a hijacked and distorted Venus, that has been stuck into the dichotomy of air, being a victim to the Prince of Air, where positive values/Venus are directed inwards as great/fantastic, while negative values are projected outwards onto others as filth, disgusting and dirt that has to be eliminated. The medium Celi means your legacy, what people will remember you for once you are gone. This is the Saturnian Climbers Hall of Fame. MC can also be interpreted as Mass C. It is here where the public eye watches you, while the opposite point, the IC, is where the sign of Cancer begins, where the moon rules. Means IC, the inner vision, based in fire and water. You're tapered to source, which the climbers in the limelight has lost, hence the words climbing monkeys. Moon is key for these people, which are fully invested in a self-image based on other people's judgments, and means they have no inner security whatsoever. Your persona is where you enter the public life, the mask you have taken on, the role you enter as. This should never be considered as the core you, which instead is located in your soul/Pluto. Your inner child, your moon, rules your minute-to-minute life, where Pluto, your soul, rules your second-to-second in life. As your focus here and now increases, your awareness expands, and together with it, the intensity in your flow of energy. In this perspective, it is easy to understand why the sign of Scorpio, which is ruled by Pluto, has a constant sense of urgency and that each moment is of importance, and why she only care about what really matters. Note that the moon is debilitated in Scorpio, which means it has almost no strength here. There is no small talk with Scorpio. Its energy is like a laser, which makes me think of the resurrected man named Lazarus in the Bible, hinting at the phrase Lazarus. Pluto/Scorpio is the archetype of resurrection, the firebird, the phoenix. And Neptune transcends time as well as space. It is pure consciousness, without any conditioning from Saturn. Once in Neptune, there is no longer any trace of you left, all is one. My message may be seen by the most awake among you that I am taking on a role in the public life, and I am speaking about division. Yes, by expressing myself to the public, I am being ruled by my persona. And yes, I do speak for division and separation. To my defense, communication is based in error, life is a paradox, and we can only communicate ego to ego. There is no other way to exchange detailed information. My birth chart is also this. My 7th house of the descendant, the persona, the entrance to the public life is in Aries the warrior. Here I have my Saturn, which means restrictions and life lessons, a dense energy full of structures, that delays and creates blockages to whatever he touches. I am late in sticking my head out in the public, even though I have a life behind me where I have achieved a lot, but always kept a low profile and tried to stay behind. I never did anything in life to have any place in the limelight. I never wanted to become anyone. I know the story, my soul has already done this in previous life. I don't have any needs to shine. My life is on the inside. With Saturn in Aries, I'm also restricted to express my anger, which is the role of my persona. I am the peaceful warrior. What pushed me into this direction was evolutionary necessity. My anger is based in love. I have told previously, I have no planets in air signs, and my lunar nodes signifying my past and future lives are conjunct, which means they are united and functions as one energy. My past is my future. I'm immune to air conditioning, my moon works together with the lunar nodes. My past, present and future is one and the same. I can just float around in the totality of now, and taste the conceptual parts of the air consciousness, which tells me deeper layers of life as being a riddle in itself. The rulers of my lunar nodes are Pluto and Venus, conjunct in 12th house, the collective subconscious. In Neptune, the sea. This means my love is total, without limits, and it includes all of humanity. I have been guided and driven by love and passion my whole life. As Saturn cult decided to interfere with my life, to steal my life project, by falsely accuse me of money laundering to have the authorities break into my home and mess up the object of my total love for me and my family, my Jupiter deciding for purpose and higher meaning, being conjunct my Sun Leo in 11th the humanist and rebel, saw no other alternative than to wake up the peaceful warrior, to take up the sword, red S-word solid word, against Saturn himself, who is Satan. To take down the castle of air, which is all pure bullshit. My midheaven, my MC is placed in Gemini, the twins representing the archetype where the two brain hemispheres are communicating with each other. This will be my legacy. Since each opposite contains the seat of its polarity, the moon in itself contains time, which is Saturn. Saturn is the one who have split the moon, the mother, the inner mirror into 3 parts and made humanity live inside of a conceptual dimension, which is a construct, engineered by Saturn cult. Saturn cult are the ones who created the shadow play on the cave wall, to make the world into Satan's version of heaven. An utilitaristic and cold theater where hierarchy is a key ingredient and where everything is fake, where the most ugly players are the ideals to look up to in a perpetual lie, cheat and steal show. Truth is existential and it is outside of the land of shadows of death, the dreams of Satan. The patriarchal Western culture is an air castle built on lies and utilitarism. All is inside out, upside down, backwards front.